Ladies and gentlemen, as a lifelong hater, I'm pleased to announce that the Boston Celtics season is over, and today we're going to open the show by pissing on their grave, celebrating the victory of the Miami Heat, who are now going to face the Denver Nuggets in the playoffs.
Turn it up. Turn it up. I love this song. Turn it up.
Audio listeners finna send me death threats.
But yeah, man. Last night was Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals, where after the Heat almost blew a 3-0 lead, the Celtics managed to push it to Game 7, and we all thought the Celtics were going to win it, I think. I don't know about us. We didn't have a chance to talk about it on the pod since the last episode, but the whole basketball world thought to get to 7, the Celtics got this in the bag. They came out, got punched in the mouth by the Miami Heat. They were down by 20 in the fourth quarter. It was a beautiful game.
Yeah, there's some bumps. Caleb Martin was out there dancing on the... He was out there dancing on the leprechaun. Everything was going in. Listen, Jaylen Brown has...
Oh my
we
God.
have to start with this. I want to start with this. Jaylen Brown has the worst bag in the NBA. This man cannot dribble at all. 8 turnovers. Had 7 going into the fourth. Nah, fam. And he's asking for what? $50 million? You'd be lucky to get 50 cents from me this offseason.
Oh my God, bro.
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, the Jaylen Brown slander has been everywhere. How you feel about that as a big Jaylen Brown fan?
It's been so disgusting to the point to where they started comparing your handles to Rudy Gobert. They started comparing Isaac. They started comparing your handles to Kendrick Perkins, Mason Plumlee. Like, it's ridiculous. And I'm starting to have real questions about him.
Yeah, man, we'll get to him because there's a big. We're joking about Jaylen Brown being a bum to some extent, but there's an actual conversation to be had about whether or not they should pay him now, given he's eligible for a Supermax. We'll get to that. First, let's focus on the team that won. The Miami Heat, man. Earlier in the series, after they had lost, I think, 2 games, Jimmy Butler went to the podium and said, "We'll be all right. Listen, we play better when we make things difficult for ourselves." And everyone was like, whatever, man. You're about to go to Game 6 and lose this series. You're about to blow it. He meant that shit for real. They played amazing when they made that shit way too hard for themselves.
I don't know what it is. Listen, Heat culture literally has everybody in Miami running towards the grind. Like they don't shy away from doing things hard. Also, if I have to hear one more time about how many undrafted players that they have on their team, I'm gonna lose it. But they like to get stuff out the mud, and that's just how Pat Riley operates. That's how Eric Spoelstra operates, and it's worked for them for a long, long time. So shout out to them though, because they really went into Boston, and they were more mentally tough than them, I think, coming into it, and I'm very proud of them. That's the only word I can think of. But like, I'm proud of Miami because it's very easy to not have resolve after losing Game 6 the way that they did on their home floor after being up 3-0, and then to go into Game 7 and win in convincing fashion. Like, that's very, very impressive. And so, shout out to them.
And I think even if Miami would have lost this, it felt like no one really would have held this against them, because if this was going to happen in any time during NBA history, it would be now. You guys
would have held that shit against them. We would have held that shit
I
against
want
them.
a 3-0 lead. A 3-0 lead.
Mm-mm. Yeah, a 3-0 lead against a really good goddamn team like the Boston Celtics. I don't think, me personally, I wouldn't have held it against them. But needless to say, they went ahead and did this throughout every single series and almost every single team that they played, other than maybe the Hawks in its entirety of the playoffs, or play-in/playoffs, Hawks and the Toronto Raptors. They've been the worst team. Name for name, 2K overall for 2K overall. However we want to put it, they're not good. Or at least on paper, it says they're not good.
For sure,
and so to see them prevail is insane.
Like Donovan said, 8 undrafted players, and it doesn't fucking matter. Like you said, they don't have as much talent as any of these teams. It's irrelevant because every year the draft comes and goes. 60 players get taken. The Miami Heat look at the remains and look for the guy that has the most dog in him, and they sign him, and it works out every time. The collective dog is insane. Like, everyone keeps saying that it's like they have some deal with the devil. It's dark magic making them win all these games. That's what it is. They're just winning via power of friendship. It doesn't make sense, but we can't doubt it anymore because it works.
Yeah, exactly.
It's insane.
Now, I mean, we're at this point to where I feel like Eric Spoelstra already received a great amount of respect, but I saw some stat that said I think since 2011 or something like that, he's been in the playoffs or to the NBA finals or something like that, 40% of the time. Some crazy stat.
And
with the only like big hits being big free agency splashes on your team being Jimmy Butler and LeBron throughout that time period, it's actually crazy considering how disappointing they've been building this team. Exactly, and it's and I would say like there's kind of a gap there too.
Yeah, we can argue. There's a lot of good coaches right now. Some of them just got fired, crazily enough. But yeah, we're arguing. The rest of the discussion is 2 through 5. One is like clearly Eric Spoelstra. Nobody does more with less consistently every year to the point where you forget that he has less. Like this is their third Eastern Conference Finals and now second finals trip in the past 4 years, with one star, one low-level all-star, really good player in Bam Adebayo, and a bunch of guys who buy into the culture that Eric Spoelstra and Pat Riley have set apart, and it just works because everybody's bought in, and you have a coach that knows how to get the very most out of every single player. Like, we didn't talk about it yet. Caleb Martin had the game of his life in Game 7. He had 28 points, I think. This is Caleb Martin. He got waived by the Charlotte Hornets before this year started, or maybe it was last year.
MJ said, "Pack your bags. You don't belong here no more."
He's just Caleb Martin, and he was one vote shy of being Eastern Conference Finals MVP. And sure, he had a great shot-making game. It just happens. Like, role players take over sometimes. Last year, we saw Grant Williams have that game in the playoffs to beat the Bucks. But there's a reason that he's been so much better than he was in the Hornets. Because Eric Spoelstra said your role is spot up, shoot threes, and attack closeouts. That's what you do well. You're really fast attacking closeouts and can get to the rim and make stuff happen, make penetration happen, keep swinging the ball. Eric Spoelstra knows how to limit each player's role to exactly what they do. All Max Strus does is shoot pull-up threes, and it works.
It's funny though. I mean, but they need like the Miami Heat have a situation because they only have Jimmy Butler as like their main star, and because the Kyle Lowry that they have is not the Kyle Lowry that they thought they were getting whenever they signed him. There's a big hole in offense, and so there's a lot of room for everybody to breathe. And so Caleb has room to go do what he does. Gabe Vincent has risen up, right, taken over the starting point guard role. He was fantastic all series long. It's like they have space, they have air to breathe, and Jimmy doesn't take up all the oxygen in the room as well. And there's, even though that Jimmy had like 28 points last night, I felt like even midway through the third, that felt like an others type of game. I like looked up at the end and I saw the stat sheet and I saw that Jimmy almost had 30. From my eyes, that looked like one of the quietest 30s because it felt like it felt like everybody else was contributing much more than he was. And again, that's not to knock Jimmy, but that's really just to praise everybody else for stepping up and doing, what they're supposed to do. Duncan Robinson in Game 6, even though that he missed those 2 threes towards the end of the game, his threes down the stretch were keeping them in that game, and he was able to come back from being nearly unplayable last year in the playoffs to now a key part in everything that they're doing.
We've been talking about him as one of the worst contracts in the NBA.
Yeah,
bro.
Mo, one thing I want to ask you, Mo. How do you feel about Bam Adebayo after that game? It was up and down.
It's super up and down. The type of shots that he's been missing over the last 2 games has been egregious. I think he shot 25% from the field in Game 6 and 40% from the field in Game 7. I think he did just enough to get by. If the Celtics would have lost, oh yeah, trust me, he would be getting the same exact type of slander that Jaylen Brown is getting, but probably even worse because his play hasn't been up to par whatsoever. So I'm I feel very neutral towards him. I'm not in love or anything like that, but he has played his part early this series, and when he has when he is on, he's on. But now that the Miami Heat are shorthanded offensively, we didn't talk about Tyler Hero once in this at all, and he's going to be back, and so you have to imagine that that's going to make him better. A lot of pressure is going to be off of him and stuff like that. So I think he should be better, but he's been very meh during this playoff series.
Yeah, at least offensively, right?
Exactly.
But also, to his credit, as an inside scoring big man, it is extremely hard to do well against Robert Williams and Al Horford. For everything we're making fun of the Celtics, that's what they're good at, is shutting down the rim with these 2 big lineups and Grant Williams and just in general, 1 big out there. So I'll cut him some slack. It's not the best matchup for him to eat on, but if they would have lost last night, it would have been his fault.
Oh, absolutely. His name would have been dragged through the mud, bro. They would have been calling him Hasheem the Beat on NBA Twitter yesterday, bro. But they won. I think although they've won this series and came so far, he isn't getting a ton of credit, and I don't think he deserves a ton of credit. He deserves some, of course, but I'd rather point towards guys like Gabe Vincent, obviously Jimmy Butler, Caleb Martin, and Max Strus, who's at least felt like they've been more consistently throughout this playoffs.
Makes sense. Yeah, man. We're going to have a lot to talk about with the Miami Heat when we do our finals preview segment here in a little while. Let's focus for a second on the Boston Celtics. We led with them saying we're going to slander them. Let's get specific, because it's easy to make jokes about them and be like, you failed, just because it's fun to prey on their downfall because they're so good all the time and people shove the agenda of their stars down your throat. But what is your actual takeaway from this team now that they lost another Eastern Conference Finals?
I'm glad that they lost. They didn't deserve to they didn't deserve to be champions. The Boston Celtics for the last not even 2 years, for the last 6 years have been a team that has had all the pieces or has as many pieces to the puzzle as you can reasonably ask for a team to go and win the championship, and they have underachieved several times. Like in 2019, when they had Kyrie, it was the second year of Kyrie, and Tatum was coming into his own, Brown was coming into his own. It was supposed to be them and the Warriors, and they didn't even make it to the conference finals, and that was 4 years ago. And 2 years ago,
to be fair, Gordon Hayward's leg fell off.
Yeah.
Even then, no, but that was the year prior.
Yeah.
And so, but they don't make it to the conference finals in 2019. In 2020, they lose in the conference finals again to the Heat. They get bounced in the first round after a bad season to the Nets in 21, and then obviously they have the finals run last year. But the Celtics are one of the most inconsistent teams, especially elite. When we talk about the best teams in the league, they are one of, if not the most inconsistent team in the league, and they play with their food too much. They don't show up. They don't show up when they need to. They try to make things harder. They dig themselves into really, really deep holes, and we've seen them dig themselves out. But I'm glad that they're not winning a championship this year, because I don't think that the consistency is of championship level. And that watching them have all the talent that they have and mess around and get down 3-0 in the first place and do things like this, it frustrates me. So yes, I'm from that standpoint, I'm very happy that they lost.
I think this proves to everyone that they've always been a good team, but never a great team, and all the flaws and holes that they've had throughout this entire tenure. Do I want to say the Jason Tatum era? I don't know. But since 2018, and since they've been put on the map and in contention seriously with Kyrie Irving, and then they went back to having Marcus Smart, there's been times where Marcus Smart is coming off the bench and stuff like that. They have no true, I don't want to say leader, but they don't have someone on the court who will consistently do the type of things that Kyle Lowry does on the court. They don't have I don't want to say a true point guard, but someone who
a table setter.
Exactly. Table setter. They don't have anyone who will push the pace, slow down pace, and all that type of stuff. And let's be a true connecting piece.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think they're a great team, because four Eastern Conference Finals appearances is no accident. They're clearly good enough to win a championship. You make the finals last year, you're good enough to win a championship. It's just, whenever, Donovan, you say they're inconsistent, and I think it's for the reason Mo just said, is that we've known it for years, right? They don't have a lead playmaker. And after the final trip last year, Celtics fans would have told you, see, we proved it. We don't need a playmaker. Everybody always says that. It's not true. We made the finals without one. But we see time and time again why at the highest level, they always fall just a little bit short, because when you're playing against top-tier defenses and other top-tier teams that have those table setters and understand the value of playmaking in the modern NBA, being a great team isn't good enough whenever you have that inconsistency due to the lack of organization on offense. Jason Tatum's a great player. He shouldn't be the best playmaker on any team he's on. Marcus Smart's great, but he's not this playmaking solution that Celtics fans like to think he is.
Yeah, exactly. And it's the reason why you see them blow these leads in the last 2-3 minutes. Last year in Game 7, they blew a 13-point lead in 2 minutes. In Game 6, before we even get to the Derek White shot, they were up 10 with 2 minutes to go. You have to win that game handily, and it comes down to that, and it's because of everything that you said. So it's that's probably going to be one of the moves that they have to make, because if you're looking at the Celtics right now, something has to change. You can't run it back with this core. I don't care what it is, whether if it's something big like getting Jaylen Brown out of there, whether you swap Marcus Smart for somebody, a new coach, which I think that they 100% should do. You cannot come back next year with this exact same squad, because I think that this core as it is done.
I don't necessarily agree with that in terms of like the talent there, because like I said, being in contention every year, it just has to work out for you 1 year. But due to how much we've heard about this team like constantly being on the verge of losing the locker room and falling apart, there's just so much smoke at some point. There's got to be fire. So because of that, I think if they do run it back at a certain, it'll be real easy for them to break, I think.
There's only there's only so many trips to Top Golf the Celtics can take before they implode, and that's what I'm saying. And also on top of that, like Al Horford is old, and it was very clear throughout this series, like his legs are going. I thought that he was gonna have a very steep decline this year, and he looked very solid. When it comes to older players in the league, your legs go, and you look like an elderly man very, very quickly. And so for Lowry. Exactly. So for the Celtics, I think that also needs to be on their radar is, okay, what are we going to do about this position? You have a power forward position that's going to be a problem. You have a Jaylen Brown problem coming up this summer with his contract. You have a point guard problem that you've had for years. You have a head coaching problem because it looked like Joe Mazzulla didn't know what he was doing for half the series. And you look around and you're like, dang, like, if we're trying to win a championship, do we really have everything that we need? And I don't think that they do.
I wouldn't put so much blame on Joe Mazzulla because, of course, like he has the best team or the better team, definitely hands down in this series. But then again, you know, you're going against Eric Spoelstra and Jimmy Butler and those guys. Still, like, I'm not giving him many excuses, but I'm not looking at him as he is the issue. I think you can put 95% of coaches in the NBA or 90% of the coaches in the NBA or 85, whatever number you want to use, and more times than not, like, you will still lose because there are structural issues with this. Now, some people may use that rebuttal and be like, yo, we're just a non-Jason Tatum ankle roll away from a trip to the NBA Finals. I don't know. No one can really say that. But one thing that I definitely can say is that, like, I agree with you, Donovan. You cannot come back this season or next season with the exact same team. You have to go through some type of retooling process. And whether that means like trading Jaylen Brown for something that I love is Damian Lillard, because that's just like a picture perfect fit. But there's other options out there, and you have to like evaluate all of them. Nothing should be off the table.
Let's talk about what they should do specifically, because like you said, the big conversation is around Jaylen Brown, and do they try to trade him? Because he has 1 year left on his contract, he's open for extension, and he's eligible for the Supermax, which means he can get a contract that will 5 years from now be paying him $66 million a year. An absurd number. It starts at $50 million, ends at 66.
Starts.
Yeah.
With this new NBA CBA, are you crazy?
There you go. A couple years. If this was last year, it wouldn't have mattered. They were going to be over the cap regardless, whether it's a max or supermax. Only difference is the luxury tax bill the owner pays, and who the fuck cares about his pockets? But with the new CBA, they're more strict with the tax levels you can hit, and if you pay too much in luxury tax, essentially you lose roster building mechanisms that other teams have. You can't do sign-in trades. I mean, you can't do trades where you bring in more salary than you send out. You don't get a mid-level exception. You just lose out on lots of things that help other teams that you don't get because they see it as you're stacking the deck and you have enough talent already. So is the answer to y'all trading? Yeah, conversation for another day. I don't love it either. But with that being the new rule set, are you trading Jaylen Brown? I kind of think I'd probably keep him and look to trade Marcus Smart first, because him and Derek White, having both of them kind of makes one of them expendable. And as great as he is, you just need somebody that's more of a dynamic offensive threat and table setter, as we said. So I think I'd go there first.
That's an option that you have to explore.
I don't know. I honestly think I can't bring myself to pay Jaylen Brown that amount of money. And we joked about it a little bit, and it's small quote unquote part of his game. But I've seen this man dribble the ball off his foot way too many times and yesterday, and I'm gonna do it even though that I don't want to. I don't want to make this about one game and one moment, but even the entire series, Jaylen Brown looked off. And if there was ever a moment where Jaylen Brown is going to step up and do the things that you would want your second team All NBA dynamic scoring, wing to do, Jason Tatum rolls his ankle in the first 26 seconds, and it's very clear that he can't move. And so after that, you're like, okay, I wish we had another guy like Jason Tatum who can score, who's athletic, who can do all these things. And then Jaylen Brown comes in and just stinks up the joint and turns the ball over repeatedly. And he had a very, very bad series. And it just leaves a bad feeling going into this next 5 years where you've been knocking on this door, like we said, for years now.
You know who they need?
Who?
They need to go ahead and trade for CP3. I don't know how the fuck that works or happens.
No, not at all. Not at all. They would be done. They would be done in the first round if they traded.
They only need one more year of CP3. Will he give them 1 year? Probably not. I say probably 50
that's the
games.
Thing. They
but
can't.
That's something
they can't think of 1
you
year.
evaluate.
When they trade Jaylen Brown, there's like a 5-year control. So you're giving up having a star duo of elite wing talent for the next 5-6 years. So like, it's not just 1 year. If they're making that change, it has to be something that they envision being the 5 to 6 year plan next to Jason Tatum.
Yeah, exactly.
Or do you just try to go for the ring like next year? Do you go all in on the ring and do that?
If they were going to do that, they would have traded for KD and got Jaylen Brown out of here this past trade deadline.
And that ship is long gone, and there's
not
going to be anything like that. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And it's so interesting because Jaylen Brown is a fantastic player. He just isn't best used next to a wing like Jason Tatum, I think. I think what makes Jaylen Brown great is he can play off ball extremely well. When he has the ball in his hands, he dribbles off his foot, he makes brain dead decisions. He can't really create at all. But the fact that he can average 27 points per game without being able to create for himself like at all shows you how incredible he is playing off ball, running in transition, doing all the other stuff, which is exactly what you'd want next to a star player. But the problem is Jason Tatum isn't high level enough of a playmaker to be the only offensive creator on his team and have a second star who can't do that. Jaylen Brown has to be next to another offensive player who can be more of a table setter like Damian Lillard or John Morant, Steph Curry, whoever. So I think Jaylen Brown has a ton of value, just maybe more on another team than he does at the Celtics.
Exactly.
Jaylen Brown, you are an Atlanta Hawk.
Unironically, that'd be pretty good.
Facts.
That'd be great.
If you are looking at the Celtics and like that's one of the main problems that you see, I don't think that you can justify like reasonably giving him that contract when you know that his flaws are going to be the fatal flaws of this team, right? If he goes like you said, if he goes somewhere else, they can be covered up from everybody. But because of the roster construction, what he does wrong, that's going to sink us, right? That's going to be the problem. And so I can't give him that money, and we're going to have to figure out something, get some other assets in there. If I were the Celtics, I wouldn't give him the contract.
Okay, I don't hate that either, but what trades are out there? Like Mo, you talked about the Hawks. Could that realistically happen, do you think? DeJounte Murray, DeAndre Hunter, and a pick for Jaylen?
I think DeJounte Murray would fix a lot of issues that they have. Definitely. PG's his most natural fit, and he just fits the big Celtic wing thing that they have going on. But I don't know if like the talent drop off is there. I believe it's not like insane or anything like that. But DeJounte Murray is just not as good as him straight up. But with that being said, I feel like that does elevate their team all around, simply because of how easy DeJounte can set guys up through or in a miss like chaos, and that's exactly like what they need. Tatum can do that same thing once in a while here and there, but it's not natural and it's not like an easy feel for him, and that's something that Jaylen Brown definitely can't do for you.
But can DeJounte Murray play next to Marcus Smart? Is that a space?
Hell no! You have to get rid of Marcus Smart.
Does that mean you're getting rid of Jaylen and Marcus Smart? That's a big change for a team that's in the conference finals every year.
That is a humongous change, but it's a change that you'd have to be willing to make. They have their guard rotation is really good.
It's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, and I'd be so comfortable with that, knowing that you have a healthy, slightly older Malcolm Brogdon, and also like Derek White, who's easily one of the best role players in the entire NBA. I do that in a heartbeat.
Did they get Bradley Beal? The Wizards' new GM apparently is going to make a big changes around. So says the reports. Do you try to get Bradley Beal for Jaylen Brown?
That does not move me.
No.
Yeah.
He's better, but or is he better? I don't know.
Who knows
just
at this
doesn't
point?
move
We've
me.
had a weird couple of years from Bradley Beal in weird purgatory hell over there in Washington. But yeah, I mean, I say this to say, I don't know what move is out there that makes sense for them. Like you said, Mo, the time passed on the KD trade. That was the best chance they had, and they took a bet on their core, which wasn't a terrible bet, but it didn't work out. So like, what's the next move for them? Who's there?
Dame is his name is always going to be in these conversations, right?
Dame trades
at least
are the
from
friends
the
they made
outside.
along the way. Dame
That's
trades
what
don't
I'm saying.
exist.
At least from the outside, they should keep an eye out on what Toronto wants to do. If Toronto is going to be a seller, right? Potentially a Pascal Siakam trade, maybe.
Okay.
And because I mean, if you do that, you still have high level talent coming back. You would then be able to put Pascal in the 4 spot where Al Horford is and get out in front of that drop off. Still be able to have length, still be able to have size in your front court, and then really give the keys to either Derek White or Marcus Smart to keep running the point. It wouldn't fix that issue of playmaking, but it would give your team a different dynamic. And I think it would also force their offense to be structured in a different way, because another thing that we saw throughout this entire playoffs, throughout this entire year, is that with Missoula, they really, really leaned into this 3-point style of offense, and they lived and died with the 3. And I forget what the exact record was, but it was like they dominate, right, when they shoot 40% from 3, which is like, okay, the whole league, when the whole league shoots well, they win games. But if you have Pascal there, you kind of force yourself to hey, we can't have threes be our main source of offense. And if we decide to do that and the threes aren't falling, now you still have Pascal Siakam, who can create his own offense inside the 3-point arc around the entire court, and maybe it's just a different look.
Yeah, I can see that. Mo, what do you say? I don't think you said for sure. Do you want them to trade Jaylen Brown?
Like I said, they need to have every option on the table outside of Tatum, obviously, on the table. And Jaylen Brown is easily one of the first ones. Donovan's quote was hard as hell. Can you repeat that one more time for me, Donovan? Fucking put that shit on the shirt.
I said his flaws are going to be the fatal flaws of the Celtics.
That's a fucking bar.
Yeah, I mean, you're just right.
Bar.
He's the swing player because you know what you're getting out of Tatum, and he has the same flaws as pretty much everybody else in that roster, so they're exasperated when you need something out of your second best player. I like that.
Yeah, exactly. For now, if they were to play the conservative game and give it a few more years to wait right until there's the perfect player who fits next to Tatum and give it 2 more years or whatever, because they're still young. I'm assuming, I think Jaylen Brown's 26 or 27 and Tatum's 25 or whatever. Then you wait. They're still genuinely they're still genuinely young and shit. So me personally, if there's nothing on the table, I'm not going to force my way into a trade. I'd rather first discover options of building around or find another option rather than Marcus Smart, whether it's finding another table setter who's just more naturally of a point guard compared to Marcus Smart. And yes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. But I think that's honestly probably going to be the route, because Jaylen Brown is forever going to be a valuable, not forever, but he's going to be a valuable tradable asset even with that contract. Yes, it may be a little bit harder, but the next time that the next star level type guard or point guard arrives to the table, you'll shoot yourself in the foot if you go ahead and do something that's
when
not
Trae Young
natural
requests
right
a trade, you want to have Jaylen Brown available to move him for.
Yeah.
I almost closed my laptop just now. Whatever.
Listen. That man shot 16% from 3 in the conference finals. It was not a great series from Jaylen Brown.
I love that.
It was just awful. And I'm also very happy that this happened, so that we can dead the narrative that everybody was trying to run with at the end of last playoffs, where everyone's like, "Oh, Jaylen Brown he's low key better than Tatum. He performed in the finals." No, he's not. I would take Jason Tatum on one ankle than Jaylen Brown in that series.
Yeah, if you genuinely thought that, listen, I respect you and I like you as a person. You're not a smart basketball mind. That is insane. That is crazy.
Yeah, it's just nasty basketball takes, bro. That's all it is. But
let's move on.
Okay, wait. Real quick. I have a question. because I don't think Isaac answered. Are you firing Missoula after this year?
Probably not.
Why?
I mean,
You're part of the problem, Donovan.
You know what? It comes down to what Jason.
What do you mean? He was clearly like not. He wasn't coaching well. Like it was very.
He had a rough stretch. He had a rough few games that made them go down 0-3. But before that, he was a good coach. They were good all year. They rebounded well from the IMA situation. It comes down to the locker room. If Jason Tatum doesn't have faith in him and the whole locker room is kind of turning against him, you fire him. If they're willing to go past it, I think you give him time. We don't extend grace to coaches at all. Rookie coaches are still rookies. Like, they need time to grow and get better. And Joe Mazzulla showed promise. And I wouldn't let 3 games be what the deciding factor is, especially when we recognize there's roster flaws too.
The only reason why I would push back on that is because it's not like they wanted Joe Mazzulla as the head coach in the first place. Like, he was there because of the other situation.
They didn't have to extend him. They gave him the head coaching job instead of interim. They wanted him. They liked him.
You kind of listen. I think after all that, after everything that happened over the summer, you kind of have to show a sign of stability and everything. So, but I promise you, like, Mazzulla wasn't the first option to go for the head coach. So I think it would be very justified, at least from the outside, everybody looking on the Celtics, if they want to move on from Mazzulla and be like, okay, well, he wasn't an assistant. He wasn't supposed to be the head coach in the first place. Let's go see if we can get somebody else in here that we actually like for the long-term future, that we can hand pick for real. That's the only reason why we'll push back.
I think they like him for a long-term future. They're just worried in the immediate future he might not have the experience needed. And I wouldn't be in the business of giving up on young coaches that fast that show promise. Not to say it's the same thing, because Eric Spoelstra is Eric Spoelstra, but the famous 2011 Eric Spoelstra story where LeBron wanted him fired because they lost that series. I see enough from Joe Mazzulla that makes me think he'll be a good coach in this league that I wouldn't want to toss him away and act too reactionary.
Okay.
He's
gone. He's not coaching my team next year.
I don't think it'd be dumb if they fired him, especially if the locker room doesn't believe in him because he doesn't have the experience there. He's too young. It wouldn't be crazy, but I wouldn't necessarily that wouldn't be my solution to fix this team.
That should be so low on the pecking order in terms of what this team needs right now.
Also, who's out there left? Nick Nurse is gone. Do you want to bring in Mike Budenholzer? Do you want Monty Williams? I guess.
Doc Rivers?
Fucking kill me.
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess if you want Monty Williams, if you think he'd be a better fit and kind of build chemistry with the team, sure. But I'm not rushing to do that.
The NBA Finals are here, so get in on the Heat versus Nuggets series with Underdog Fantasy, the best and easiest way to play fantasy sports online. All you have to do is hit higher or lower on your favorite or least favorite player's stats for the night, and it's super simple to use. You can play it on the app or you can play it online, and if you sign up today using promo code TD3, Underdog Fantasy will double your initial deposit up to $100. That's free money that you can use to make more entries all throughout the NBA Finals. So again, sign up today using promo code TD3 and get playing with Underdog Fantasy today.
Let's move on to this finals preview. Let's talk about the teams that won and the teams that are still playing. So now we know it's Nuggets versus Miami Heat. Before we get into anything, what's your prediction for the outcome?
I'm taking Nuggets in 5.
Wow,
okay.
5 games.
I'm taking Nuggets in 5. Yeah.
Mo?
Okay. Yeah, I take Nuggets in 6. I give the Miami Heat 2 games. They're gonna play inspiring basketball. I think they're gonna really try to make Nikola Jokic work defensively. I feel like throughout the NBA playoffs, I haven't seen enough teams try to pick on and bully him. And that's not to say that the Miami Heat have the perfect roster for that, but they have certain players in place who can make Jokic uncomfortable defensively.
Bro, he just beat Devin Booker and Kevin Durant and LeBron James and AD.
I know.
Nobody on the Miami Heat is moving me to expose Jokic's defense. That shit is dead. Nuggets in 5. I'm only giving them 5 because, like I said, unlimited dog. They're going to find a way to win a game. Power of friendship. It's going to work at least once, maybe twice. Nuggets in 5, 6 at most.
100%. 100%. I agree. Jokic is stamping. We've already given him the crown of best player in the world. He's solidifying it this series. He's going to get the Finals MVP if they win. He's going to average something stupid like a 45-point triple-double. And it's they are going to have. It's going to be a lot of fun for Denver.
He's shredding that defense into pieces.
He's going to commit war crimes to Bam Adebayo.
Oh, my goodness. Let Miami go to a zone and leave Michael Porter Jr. open in the corner. He's chucking it.
Bam Adebayo was losing limbs. It's going to be brutal. Bam Adebayo is never going to be the man he was before the series.
Yeah, they're gonna have to revert to Cody Zeller. Oh my God, Cody Zeller for real gonna get minutes.
Listen,
Yikes.
the Lakers pulled out Tristan Thompson. UD might have to get some minutes out there checking Jokic.
God, yo, you gonna send that man into straight stroke, bro? What the hell? That's crazy.
Gonna put his old ass in cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
Keep him away from Jokic. But no, you're right. Because listen, the Lakers had one of the best big man defender in the NBA right now. Jokic cooked him. It didn't matter. We're talking about all the first 3 rounds or 2 rounds. AD is a defensive messiah. He's been the best defensive player alive, and it hasn't been close. He could not do anything to Jokic one-on-one. Nobody can. So Bam Adebayo is not the defender Anthony Davis is. He's getting cooked. And the Lakers' solution was put AD off ball and let him be a roamer to double Jokic, essentially. Now, the Heat have a similar solution for this type of thing, and that's their zone defense like to run to. The biggest weakness of a zone defense, you throw the ball into the middle, around the elbows, and you make the extra pass to the shooters. Has there ever been a player in NBA history better equipped to catch the ball at the elbow and pass to shooters than Jokic?
Maybe LeBron, and that's it. LeBron,
I don't even think it's LeBron.
Magic, that's it.
Yeah. I don't see any schematic hope for the Heat. Again, we don't want to bet against the power of friendship here. The dog is unlimited, as I've said several times, so maybe we're going to be wrong like always because there's no way to ever bet against the Heat.
That's why
right.
I say 6. Like,
yeah.
It's at this point to where like I feel like the entirety of our first 9 months into this podcast, I've always said like, bro, why do we respect the Miami Heat? Who cares? Like, dead that shit right now. Exactly. This is why, and I'm like, bro, I don't want to sit here and like be wrong and look like a fool again. So I'm gonna give them 6 games minimum. 6 not maximum. 6 games maximum, and that's it. That's all they got. Like, we can only get away with being a dog up to a certain point, and I think this is that point.
Yeah, eventually the luck has to run out. It's not luck.
Easily
Luck's
the
a
worst
bad word. It's
matchup
not
that
luck
they
at
could
all.
have drawn.
I shouldn't say it's luck, but eventually the voodoo magic has to run out, or they're not going to be the best shot makers of all time.
Exactly, and this is easily the worst matchup that they could have ever had play upon their hands, bro. They're done.
They're gonna have to start a fight. They're gonna have to start a fight to win. Like they're gonna have to throw a punch, right? Bring Jovic off the bench. He's gonna have to swing. Maybe that's what Haslam's role is. Maybe he comes on in the first quarter and just throws a nasty elbow. I don't know, but like they have to find some type of advantage.
Find double
Is that
ejections.
a good idea? Because you got Jokic's 2 big ass brothers who were wrestling bears and shit back when Jokic was like 5 years old. I don't know if that's a good idea, bro.
That's off the court stuff. That's off the court. I'm just talking
on
about
the court. You got Jokic. Jokic broke Markieff Morris's neck last time they fought.
That was mad dirty.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I forgot. There's that chippiness probably still there. They definitely don't like Jokic. How could they? He fucking injured their teammate.
The whole team showed up at the Nuggets locker room. All of them were just peeking in, just like, where is he? I want to see him.
That picture's funny because Bam Adebayo's in the back, like wanting no parts. He's just he's looking because he has to show solidarity. He did not want to throw hands on Nikola Jokic
because he knows what's about to happen to him.
Yeah,
he knows he's about to get this work.
Listen, Jimmy and Kyle are insane. They can handle it.
They need James Johnson again. They need James Johnson and his black belt.
Dude.
So obviously we think they're gonna win. Jokic is gonna eat. I don't really see a solution for that. The one thing for me, if we're talking about like realistic ways that he could make this interesting, is can they slow down Jamal Murray? What do y'all think about that?
I don't think so. I think that Miami has had trouble all playoffs kind of guarding point guards. Like Brunson was able to have a lot of success. You know, Derek White, even Marcus Smart was able to have success. And so it's like Jamal Murray, if him and Jokic start running that pick and roll and they get the ball back to Murray beneath the free throw line, he's going to be able to post up Gabe Vincent as much as he wants and be able to take, all the little step back faders that he wants. I don't see a way that Miami's going to be able to slow down. They're going to have to pick which one, right? And so like last series we were talking about the Lakers and saying, well, do they just let Jokic go off and get whatever he wants and focus on everybody else? That might have to be the strategy for Miami, in that Jokic, you can go ahead, have 55 points every single game if you want, right? But Jamal can't go off, MPJ can't go off, and if they are playing just to try to stop buckets and try to stop everybody, they're going to get cooked. They're going to have to let something go if they want to stop Murray.
Yeah. Yeah. And on top of that tall ass task, you're going to have to go ahead and continue to shoot lights out from three. And
Thanks.
I do not know if I 100% believe that they'll do that. Now, things will help. Like, Tyler Hero supposedly should be back for just in time for the NBA Finals. But you say young, but that does help a lot. You know, they don't have to rely so much on, what's that dude's name who wears number 24? Looks like he works at CarMax.
Haywood Highsmith.
Yeah, him. Yeah, like, you know what I'm saying?
Dog,
Those
man.
He said CarMax.
Huh?
That's so disrespectful.
He looks like a nice guy. I'd buy a car from him personally. But anyways, I digress about that. Like, when it comes to, I think Tyler Hero is gonna make some type of effect. As much as we hate on him and stuff like that, like, he is a huge contributor to that weak ass offense that they have known to have.
He's just missed so much time, and they've been so good without him. Like, I'm not buying that he's going to come in and just be like a huge difference maker. Like, that's a lot of time to be missing, and they're in a role without him. Like, he'll help.
You're
a
not
little
buying
bit.
the Tyler Hero smirk last time we saw him in the playoffs or in the finals.
Nah.
Oh, kill me. That was the worst era ever. I hated that. I hated that meme. Fucking SportsCenter ran into the ground.
Disgusting.
Yeah, man. It's so annoying because like this is a finals preview, and I feel there's not a lot interesting to say.
Yeah,
I mean, there kind of is. I think but I think it's more macro level stuff with the Heat and the Nuggets. I think we're so locked in on Denver winning the title. We have been expecting Jokic and the Nuggets to kind of make this run and make this push that we're assuming. So like I understand why it doesn't seem like there's a lot to talk about, but I don't know. I'm looking at the stats from last series from the Heat Celtics, and the Celtics shot 30% from three in the series. And so you look at Denver and they are clearly going to shoot better than 30%. And so that's where Miami was able to make up for a lot of their disparities. They were able to win the battle on the 3-point line.
Yeah. And it's going to be hard to out-hustle them and beat them with, like, the transition points and the rebounds and the steal battle. Like, the Nuggets are also really good at that. Like, they bludgeoned the Lakers with rebounding last series and transition points, which is kind of some of the things the Miami hangs their hat on. So, I just feel like the Nuggets are the worst-case scenario for the Heat. Like, all their strengths are also the strengths of the other side.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I agree with that. Yeah. So, I feel like when it comes to Miami Heat, this is just one of those things where, like, none of us believe they had a chance or a real chance in most of these series at the beginning. So it's just one of those things where like we can't really dissect as much as we usually do, and it's just like we just have to wait and see what they do, how much of all the type of schematics that they potentially or that they will run in game one in order for us to see if they really have a chance. And I think if they're gonna do it, game one should be the game that they do it, because Denver has been off for a minute now, and we'll just see what happens.
Yeah, Nikola Jokic is not Jason Tatum. Jamal Murray is not Jaylen Brown. Like, as great as this Heat run has been,
that's so crazy.
There's some dogs for real.
Yeah, you're not gonna outdog Nikola Jokic. I don't care how much friendship you got over there. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah,
100%.
exactly, bro. They may be done, but shout out to them though.
But I hope we're wrong. I hope it's a good series at least. And it's time to come to the next episode. We sound silly for doubting the Heat again.
Denver in 6.
Yeah, man. Before we get out of here, let's move on to one more thing we want to do before the end. Oh, I couldn't talk. That was nasty. We're gonna rank the top 15 players in the NBA so far in the playoffs only. Yeah. So I forgot to intro that in the beginning of the episode. So everybody sees the title and they're like, "Where are these rankings at?" And it's 47 minutes into the podcast, but we're gonna do it.
We're here.
Oh, you guys are falling off. You guys are clickbait. Now, while we go ahead and say these lists,
he just made up demons on his head. Nobody's ever said that to us.
Now, while we go ahead and give y'all our lists, one thing I will say is the qualifications and what we value most of these lists will vary because we didn't come to an agreement collectively like we usually do on our rankings video. So there's gonna have to be a lot of explaining. And on top of that, I did my shit 10 minutes before this pod. On God.
Why do you tell people this?
So
yeah, man. Everyone's like, that explains so much. Yeah, man. So again, we're ranking the top 15. We're gonna go in blocks of 5. We're gonna start by revealing 10 to 15, then 5 to 10, and then 1 to 5, etc. And yeah, the qualifications for what makes this player better is open ended. I guess it's a mix of performance and how many series you won, plus individual production
And expectations.
Yeah, expectations too. How much you're deciding whether your team wins or lose. You know, if you're the number one option, all that typical stuff you expect from rankings, but only for the playoffs.
Cool.
So Donovan, you want to go first? Start with 11 through 15.
Yeah. So I'll start from 15 and go up. So
Yeah.
So the last person that made it in, I have Derek White at 15.
Okay.
I have
Nice.
I have Bam at 14. I have Anthony Edwards at 13. KD at 12 and Giannis at 11.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
Yes.
Giannis.
Interesting.
Wow.
Can you send him in the chat so we can read them as you do that? So, okay, I'll go next. So, Giannis didn't make my list. I wanted to pick him,
same.
but then I looked at his stats overall because he missed a game that hurt his averages because he played the first 5 minutes, and he didn't have a great closeout game. He only averaged 23 points on very, very poor efficiency for his standings. So he didn't win a single playoff game either. The only games they won were without him. So 0 playoff wins, a 7-point dip in points per game from the regular season, like a 10% true shooting percentage dip. I couldn't get him on there. So I have number 15, Joel Embiid. Barely got on there.
Ew.
Barely got on
Pew.
there. You put Derek White. I thought about putting Derek White, but I was like, listen, Joel won a playoff series. He was great in that series. Sure.
Ew.
14, Bam Adebayo. Same as you.
Okay.
13, John Morant. 12, De'Aaron Fox. And 11, Anthony Edwards.
Okay.
Nice.
Okay.
So
Okay, I
am
love
a
that.
little higher than you.
Wow, I love that. So I'm gonna go ahead and send my list right now. Okay,
right.
So at 15, I had a. Go ahead.
I was about to say, I'll let y'all know right now. Ja did not make my list.
Okay.
He did not
That's
make
fair.
my list.
That's not
That's
crazy.
fair. All right, so honorable mention: Austin Reeves. He was outside of AD and LeBron. He was super consistent. I just have to mention his name real quick. Shout out to him for to get a bag. But anyways, at 15, I had a 3-way tie between Westbrook, Caleb Barton, and Bam. I might as well give it to Bam because he's in the NBA Finals, and obviously he's the best out of these 3 players. Cool. I'm not going to sweat it too much. At 14, I got Anthony Edwards. Dude, looks like every bit of the franchise player that you want to see, and the page has officially turned away from the Karl Anthony Towns era. Star shit, averaged 30, 31 points per game. John Morant, bro had a broken hand, and he shot 41% from the 3-point line, and he still did what he could, even though he missed a game. 12, Kevin Durant. He wasn't amazing, but he's Kevin Durant. He averaged 29 a game. And at 11, I put Kawhi Leonard. He only played 2 games, but those 2 games that he played, maybe nostalgia is beating my ass right now. This what probably is, but he was
2
insane.
games.
That was crazy.
I can't put a guy that played 2 games on my list.
I know.
They lost a series because he couldn't play more than 2 games. He can't be on my list.
Yeah, I know, but I had to do. When he was on there, that was some of the most majestic basketball I've seen, bro.
No,
Him ripping KD on that one play.
I understand.
Ascending.
All right, so let's look at these. We all see each other's lists. Donovan, justify Giannis over Ant-Man to me.
Okay. So for Giannis, I think that even in the last game, Giannis was still out here. The biggest issue with Giannis was his free throws, and if you want to take him off, I 100%, I'm cool with it, which is weird for a guy that's at 11 on my list. But I still feel like Giannis played okay. I think that Giannis on any other situation would have been decent. And I know he missed a couple games. But when he came back, he didn't look like MVP level Giannis, but he was still really, really good, and he was still driving that team.
Man.
They had I understand.
Where'd he drive them to? The fucking brick wall?
No,
I one seed and won 0 games.
I understand. I still think that Giannis had a good series, a solid series.
This is more so a respect pick, I feel like.
100%. Just like a Kawhi pick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, a little bit. But
So I see you guys both had KD in this bottom 5.
Yes.
I had him higher, clearly. I didn't leave him off my list.
Okay.
I feel like we're underrating. Like they won a series and he averaged 30. He was still KD. Like
he did good, but he didn't do anything that's like, oh man, like this. We all know like it very well can work and it could work. It will work, but like he didn't do. There was a lot of parts in this series to where like he didn't feel like KD and it was like second fiddle. And I'm like, yo, KD. Like
the first round happened though. He diced up the Clippers. Like the first round did happen.
Yeah, but no Kawhi. It's weak.
Well, he didn't decide that.
Yeah, no, you did what you're supposed to do, but bro, like I need the real stuff, and the real stuff was against was in that Denver series.
So do you both have De'Aaron Fox higher? Because I don't see him on your list.
Yes,
I got De'Aaron Fox higher. Absolutely. Okay. Why is De'Aaron Fox so low on your list? Did you forget what that man did against the Warriors? That was easily the most entertaining series of the playoffs.
I mean, he scored a lot of points, but I mean, he was good. He wasn't otherworldly.
Oh, you're a jackass for that, man. Oh my goodness.
And they didn't win a single. They didn't win a series. Like
what is up with you? Oh my god.
They didn't win a series. What do you want from me? Like Anthony Edwards, I put him one above because I thought his individual performance was a little bit better, and they both didn't win a series. Like.
Yeah, but De'Aaron Fox broke his goddamn wrist or finger during the series, bro. And he, like, considering the expectations that a lot of people had placed on them prior to the season starting, when the season
isn't about that.
ended,
This is about
and
the
then
playoffs.
on top of, bro, we didn't establish what it was necessarily.
It's not about
This is
preseason
a part of the
narratives. Are you
expectation type
crazy?
of thing. Huh?
Preseason narratives? I don't give a shit what they thought preseason.
This is not only preseason narrative. No one saw him raising as high as he did during the playoffs. And
yes, we
him
did.
winning
They were the 3 seed. We 100% saw this happening. He hit his averages he's hitting the regular season.
Yeah, whatever. And also he won the clutch player of the year. Needless to say, he did
also not a playoff relevancy.
No, listen. De'Aaron averaged 27 and 8 in the first round against the Warriors. And Steph Curry, who was one of the greatest players of all time, had 50 points in Game 7, right? I think that De'Aaron Fox had a magnificent series. I think that he's higher. And I'll actually take this and I will send in the next part to my list and we'll get to...
I think I held wins more than
half.
y'all did. I think y'all went more performance and I brought wins in 50%.
Not really, because after De'Aaron Fox is the highest player on my list, and then everybody above him has a series win, right?
Yeah,
so I don't have anybody above 10 that didn't win a series. But so here's my list, right? So 10,
De'Aaron's your 10?
Yes. So De'Aaron is 10. I have Tatum at 9. I have Bron at 8. Jamal Murray at 7. Jalen Brunson at 6.
Brunson over Murray, okay.
Wow, Brunson over Murray is so different. Wow,
listen,
I wouldn't.
I understand what Jamal Murray has done. Jalen Brunson was out there. Listen, Jalen Brunson was out there playing. What is it? 8-on-2. It was him and Quentin Grimes versus everybody else. Okay. Julius Randle was not showing up. Jalen Brunson in the last game, he had 41 points and still kept it in a close game with Miami, while RJ Barrett was 1 of 10, while Julius Randle was 3 of 14. Randle was going up and down the series the entire time. Every time there was a big shot needed, Jalen Brown was the one taking it. Every time the Knicks needed a comeback, Jalen Brunson was the one leading it. He was the heart and soul of the Knicks squad. They won a playoff series in 5 because he was cooking Donovan Mitchell. He was cooking Darius Garland. And the number one defense in the entire league, Jalen Brunson looked at them and said, "You can't stop me. You can't guard me." He was fantastic this entire playoffs. So I will have him at my 6, and that's why I'm putting him over Murray, because Jamal, as great as he's been, it is much easier to play and to thrive when you have Nikola Jokic next to you and you just have this big old Serbian man setting the hardest screens of all time, and every jumper that you take is 14 feet away from the basket and wide open. I have to give Jalen Brunson his love.
You got a good case. I can't even hit on that.
I can't put Jason Tatum below Jalen Brunson. Jason Tatum made the conference finals and he was excellent until he had a rough series against the Heat. Everyone did, but his averages for the whole playoffs are so great. Like he's Jason Tatum. We knew Jason Tatum was levels above Jalen Brunson, and he played like Jason Tatum for the most part.
Nah,
yeah.
Jason.
This is a Celtics fan in him.
No. Jason Tatum, along with the rest of the Celtics, their inconsistencies had like their inconsistencies.
EFC.
Like as many good moments as you saw from Jason Tatum, on the other side there is as equally as many bad moments from Tatum
not.
as well.
Equally as many. Come on, we're missing the forest for the trees, focusing on the negatives. They're in the conference finals for a reason, going to a game 7. Like, come on, he was 1 win away from the finals.
He's lucky I put him in the top 10.
Okay. You're nasty. You're nasty.
He's lucky I put
you
him in the
are
top 10.
nasty.
Game 6 and Game 7, the fourth quarter of Game 6 and Game 7 against the Sixers. That's what pushed it over the edge. But I wanted to put De'Aaron Fox over him. I loved what De'Aaron Fox did this postseason.
I love how you have De'Aaron Fox at 10. I have him at 12, and it was like, what? You have him so low. All right, go ahead, Mo.
This is your turn. We're thinking in rotation.
Oh, okay. I thought I went third last time.
Throw it in rotation.
I have Jalen Brunson at 10, LeBron James at 9, Kevin Durant at 8, Anthony Davis at 7, and Jason Tatum at 6. So you had Anthony Davis top 5. That's interesting to me because
Do I?
Oh my God!
We'll have to see.
Oh my God! Your list sucks.
We'll have to see.
This man is blue balling us on our own podcast. What the hell, man?
If you put Derek White over Anthony Davis, I'm quitting this podcast. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my goodness!
If you put Derek White over Anthony Davis, I'm quitting.
No, I put Derek White at 15.
Okay, that means Anthony Davis is on your list. Good.
You don't know that.
Well, then that means you put Anthony Davis below Derek White.
Guys, there was a guy who was a vote away from Eastern Conference Finals MVP. That's all I'm saying.
Oh my God! If you put Caleb Martin in your top 5, I'm killing you.
You're nasty.
All right, so Jalen Brunson at 10 and LeBron at 9 was my hardest one. I kept going back and forth. I kind of want to put Jalen Brunson above LeBron, but because I was too focused on LeBron not looking like old LeBron. But when you look at what he did in totality, he played solid defense. He really tried a lot harder as a rim protector, which I think was impactful. Still 25 points per game for the playoffs, which feels like it should be lower, but it's not. 8 rebounds, 6.5 assists. Pretty good efficiency. He couldn't hit a 3 to save his life, but he was still LeBron James. They made the conference finals, which weighs a lot for me. It's hard to win that many playoff series. They beat the Warriors, beat the Grizzlies as a 7 seed. I gave him the nod, but Jalen Brunson, I could see him being individually more impressive. Kevin Durant, I think, should be really high. He was Kevin Durant. Like they lost to the best team, but outside of a few games where he got stomped out by the Nuggets, he was pretty much Kevin Durant.
He was,
and like I said, Jason Tatum should be number 6. Jason Tatum was still great.
Yeah, okay. I don't have any real issues with your list whatsoever. AD, Tatum, I think they're right where they're at. KD, I look at it and I'm like, I kind of want to put you lower. But it's KD. He did exactly what he was supposed to. He did what he was supposed to do. I think he should have done more, but whatever. Here's my list right here. For some reason, I cut out 6 or whatever. But anyways, so number 10, I have Jalen Brunson. Number 9, I have AD. 8, I have Fox. 7, I have Murray. And at 6, doesn't say here for you guys, but I have LeBron James.
Okay, I was going to say, is LeBron not on your list? That's crazy.
No. Yeah, LeBron is definitely on my list. He's so high on my list because, like, I'm taking in consideration, like, this dude is not 100%. He's hurt and he's old. Be are 2 of the worst combinations that you can, like, make up towards that later towards anyone's NBA career. And for him to be at that age, put up the numbers that he did put up, which were not like the usual LeBron numbers that we are used to seeing, but still, regardless of the fact, he did his part, did what he could do, and he was the best player on this team that made it to the Western Conference Final at the age of 38 on one leg. Impressive as hell, you know. Exactly. And then Jamal Murray at number 7, like, he's easily one of the best point guards in the NBA, and he continues to prove that. De'Aaron Fox, he was immaculate on all levels, spectacular. He was.
Now listen, man. What did Fox do more impressive than Jalen Brunson? Besides wear the color purple.
He can dunk like he can dunk.
Nah, that was racist.
What?
Okay.
that was crazy. That was racist.
Besides wear the color purple, bro.
It's crazy. You were finna roll with that in the comments.
Yeah, bro. I'm crying.
No, Jalen Brunson, I think, was clearly better than, or just as good as Fox, I should say, and he won a playoff series. So I don't really see any reason to put Brunson below Fox.
Yeah, well, he won a playoff series, but he won a playoff series against like a worse team in my mind. But anyways, I digress.
Still
Talk
win
about it.
I don't know about that. The Cavs are just the same caliber as the Warriors.
I don't know. I mean, Evan Mobley was playing like Kenneth Faried, and I think that when you do have those type of issues,
do I need to get into who Jordan Poole was playing like?
Look at us. We're going toe to toe for who's worse. That's a shameless, man. Anyways, moving on with my list. AD, even though he was like wildly inconsistent, like defensively, he was every bit of what you wanted. And Jalen Brunson, hell, I may put him, just to make Isaac happy, I may put him at 8 and De'Aaron Fox at 10. But at the same time, fuck you. No. I'm putting Jalen Brunson at number 10. I still do not like the Knicks, but I do like a good story. And Jalen Brunson was playing like left-handed. It's like he has the build of Raymond. What?
You say he was playing left-handed, like his right hand was like cut off. He's a left-handed player, like
no, like I'll say
he's left-handed in real life. That's what he does.
My thoughts cut off, and I was like, bro, he's playing like left-handed Lillard with less range. Oh, does that mean he's not really Lillard? Shut up. Anyways, him playing at this level is beautiful basketball and exactly what the Knicks need. And he blew every expectation that anybody had on him. And yeah, that's my explanation for my list. Pretty solid.
Nice.
All right. We'll get into the top tier. So here's
the top 5.
Here's what I have. So at 5, I have Anthony Davis. At 4, I have Steph Curry. 3, I have Devin Booker. 2, I have Jimmy Butler, and then 1, Nikola Jokic.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3. Obviously, self-explanatory. Jimmy gets the nod because he's gone crazy. He won another playoff series. He's in the finals. Him and Jokic, 1 and 2. Booker was shooting 80% for like days. It was ridiculous. Steph Curry, it was wild. Steph Curry had absolutely nobody on his team and had a 50-point game in Game 7. Right, put the team on his back several times. Even in the Warrior series, had Klay Thompson and Jordan Poole actively trying to ruin his legacy, and still got them to a Game 6, and looked fairly valiant in it. And then Anthony Davis, as inconsistent, like Mo said, as inconsistent as he was throughout the playoffs offensively, we have to weight defense properly. And Anthony Davis looked like he had one of the best defensive playoff runs ever. He was amazing protecting the rim.
Wow.
He was absolutely fantastic. He was dominant, and there was nobody that was going to get to the rim and score on him. Like, you could have thrown Giannis at him, and it's like, I think the only person who would have scored at the rim is the best player in the world right now, and that's Nikola Jokic. But outside of that, nobody's getting to the rim against him. And when you have somebody who can lock down the paint the way that AD can, everybody else thrives on defense. So that's why I gave him the nod at 5. But yeah, so that's the top end of my list.
Okay.
That's nice.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. It's nearly identical to mine, except I'll go ahead and send it. I have Jamal Murray at 5, who I didn't have put on here yet.
Wow, okay.
And then Curry. I had Jamal Murray above Curry for a while, and I switched it like right before we started. I was like, I got to get Curry. It's Curry.
Yeah.
But Jamal Murray is averaging 28 points on incredible efficiency. Incredible. He has been an unstoppable scorer while also averaging over 6 assists and being a pretty decent defender. The Lakers gave him some troubles because they're the Lakers, but hasn't been the worst defender in the world. And an elite scorer, like just as great of a scorer as all these other guys that we're lauding. Jamal Murray has been that, and he's in the finals. Like I'm clearly weighing team success more than you guys, and he has been an extremely important part of the shellacking they're giving all these teams. Like, it's not just Jokic. The reason they're dominant is because they also have another star who's playing as good as any guard in the NBA. And to do that and make the finals, like, I think he's damn near as important. And the rest of it, self-explanatory. Booker, you could argue Booker could be above Jimmy Butler if you weren't weighing team success as much, but Butler's in the finals. He has to be the number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't got to explain Jokic or Curry.
Yeah, I don't have much against that list whatsoever.
Tatum top 5.
Yes, he dropped 50 points in Game 7. Like, I did that just not happen?
He dropped 13 points in the other Game 7.
Yeah, like, he's been fantastic throughout this playoffs on a semi-consistent basis. But to continue on my list, I think our top threes are the same exact, right? That's beautiful to see. Jokic, I don't have to explain. Jimmy
Our
Butler,
top
I
fours
shouldn't
are the
explain. Yeah, exactly. Booker, Curry, I don't have to explain. I think me having Tatum up there, through like the ups and downs, being able to consistently, for the most part at least, like answer when you're most needed and show up at the end of the day was impressive. A lot of us thought that, okay, like they're in a terrible spot with the Philadelphia 76ers. And I don't know if you want to give credit to Doc being Doc and James Harden and Joel Embiid being one of the worst playoff performers that we've seen in our entire existence. But regardless of the fact, like, he did exactly what he was supposed to do on a consistent basis with their wildly volatile style of play, and he earned it. I'm not going to let this terrible playoff loss get to me when it comes to how I view Jason Tatum. I think he's exactly who I think he is.
I have him at 6. I wasn't going to overreact either. He got hurt in Game 7. It's unfortunate. The Heat gave him troubles. They gave everybody troubles. It's hard not to get troubles given to you when your co-star is a pumpkin. So I'm not going to hold it against him too much.
That's hilarious. Yeah, exactly. So I think our lists are overall not that bad whatsoever.
Yeah, besides yours. Yours sucks.
You suck.
I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. All the lists are reasonable. Yeah, I think Fox over Jalen Brunson is the only thing I have a problem with yours.
Do you have any honorable mentions? I like how Donovan shouted out Derek White. He deserves it. I love how, like, some DM a couple of days ago said that he's easily one of the best role players in the entire NBA, and that man deserves his flowers. But he also deserves a new barber too, because
listen, a barber cannot fix what he has. A barber cannot fix, unless they are painting something on. The barber can't fix it.
Did you see Stephen A. Smith making fun of his hairline? Like, the fucking audacity to be Stephen A. Smith and make fun of somebody's hairline?
Low-key, I would rather have Stephen A. Smith's hairline than Derek White's.
They have the same exact hairline. One just has a fro and one just has a low.
It's worse, though, because he has, like, a fro, and because of his hair texture and the hair type that he has, it makes it look just so egregious.
Fam, Derek White had the thick headband, right? The one that, like, the volleyball players be wearing, and you can still see his forehead on top of it. That's nasty work. That's nasty work. I can't support it.
Do you have any honorable mentions, Isaac, off the top of the head before we go to
Derek White was my first cut. I thought about Jaylen Brown. Then I looked at his stats. I was like, holy fuck. I thought it was just one series. He stuck it up the whole playoffs. Yeah. But yeah, Giannis and Derek White were my first 2 cuts.
Nice. Yeah. I was thinking about putting Trae Young on this list, but I was like,
Trae Young as well. Yeah, Trae Young was
I'm a new man. I have shame. Let me not put him on this list. I'm trying to get rid of my disgusting my narrative. But anyways, yeah, I would put Trae Young on this list, but he was just like so bad, and the conversation around him playing like Julian Newman was just so nasty throughout the first few games of the Celtics series. But seeing how he responded and like fully adjusted to that series and played like an absolute superstar. I think it was like Game 5. What he did to Boston, hitting that game winner over Jaylen Brown from Dumb Deep was like, he deserves an honorable mention as well.
Yeah, he was on my first cuts as well.
Yeah, exactly. But I think that it is one of those times.
What type of time? Tell us exactly.
It's TikTok time.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I think you're right. And I think as you transition to TikTok time, we're going to start with the draft like we always do. And this time we're going to draft only players drafted in the 2000s.
There was a lot of good players.
Draft some old heads.
I'm ready.
This is your era?
Yeah.
This is your era. God, this man's going to thrive.
All right. Let's draft NBA rosters. I said rosters. It's always lineups. I always fuck this up. Let's draft NBA lineups with only players who are drafted in the 2010s. Yeah, I'm messing it up again.
That's okay.
Let's draft NBA lineups with only players who are drafted in the 2000s. Who had first pick last time?
I did.
Don't even remember.
So I had third pick?
No, you had second.
What draft did we do last time?
We did the Knicks draft.
Okay, yeah.
I was so bad. I think I had third.
Yeah, you were. Oh, geez. We don't even talk about that.
Mind your business.
I got first pick. Mo got second pick. Donovan third pick. First pick. Obviously, I got LeBron James.
Had that.
That's cool. My first pick, give me Steph Curry.
Great pick.
All right. I'm going to double up. give me Kevin Durant and give me James Harden.
That's an interesting one. Okay.
I know.
I did not see that coming.
They fit a little bit better than the other choice.
Okay.
I like that. All right, so now things get semi-interesting. So for my second pick, go ahead. You know what? Go ahead and give me. You said you got KD, right? And who else?
Yeah,
James Harden.
I got KD and James Harden.
Cool. Okay, go ahead for scarcity. Give me Dwight Howard.
Fuck! I was about to pick him.
Really?
Damn. If you didn't pick him, I was about to win this draft instantly. All right. Second pick, give me the guard that Donovan should have picked, Dwayne Wade.
Damn, that was nice.
That's fair.
I need that Heatles combination.
Yeah.
Dude, do I pick Chris Bosh and keep the game together?
Do it.
You're so lame if you do
funny?
it. You're so lame if you do it.
Dude, there's a lot of good options here. Chris Bosh isn't the best player available. I can't do that. It would be a bad idea. There's like a lot of good point guards here to choose from. All right. And to round it out, give me a top 5 point guard of all time, prime Chris Paul.
Nice.
Okay.
I like that. That's a very solid. It's a very solid way to go. All right. So for my 2, Jimmy Butler. When was Jimmy Butler drafted? Oh, it was 2011. Never mind. Damn. God, I thought he was early.
Jimmy was drafted in 2011. Damn.
Yeah, he was drafted. He was definitely drafted in 2011. He was in that
in that Kyrie draft.
Yeah, Kyrie. I was gonna say Kyrie.
These motherfuckers are getting old. Kyrie was drafted 12 years ago. Good lord.
Yeah, I know. We're all getting cooked, dude. Okay, whatever. Anyways, so I got Dwight Howard. I got Steph Curry, right?
Yeah.
For my third pick, go ahead and give me Chris Bosh.
Okay.
I like that.
You suck. That was gonna be my next pick.
Yeah.
That's okay though. That's okay. For my next pick, give me Russell Westbrook, and then give me Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, I'll let you have him. You love him so much. I was like, I'll keep him for you.
This is great.
Okay.
Well, you should have let me have Chris Bosh for the memes. I can't believe it. It would have been such a good time.
I can't believe I talked you out of that.
I have the Thunder though. I have the OG Thunder.
Okay. So it's my turn. So I got CB, Dwight Howard, and what's his name? Steph Curry. Cool. All right. So now I need a 2. I need wings, bro. I need a 2 and a 3. So at my 2, I think Drew Holiday would be a fantastic fit next to Steph Curry. So give me that. I don't know if he's the best player, but I think he'll be an immaculate fit. So I need that on my team. He was drafted in 2009, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Okay, cool. He was drafted in 2009. Cool. And then at my 3.
Wait, no. Isn't it Isaac's turn after that?
Oh, fuck, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I was about to let you go. Okay. This part, at my 4 and my 5, I need spacing next to my slashers. Give me Marc Gasol at the 5. And this is the hard one. And Andre Iguodala at the 4.
Okay. I like that.
My defense is crazy.
I like that. I like that a lot. But I got the better 3. Give me DeMar DeRozan.
You can have him.
Trust me. Don't disrespect him. I got his daughter
9.
courtside too, so trust me, that's another advantage.
Oh, that's a home court advantage right there.
Yeah, exactly.
But I have LeBronto, so I think you're cooked.
You do have LeBronto. Damn.
All right. I have to pick a center here. I'm trying to decide if I want to just go all offense, we're just gonna go fast, or if I'm just gonna go just get the biggest person on the board. And
the biggest person on the board.
Does that mean Yao Ming?
Yeah.
Let me do it. Give me Yao Ming.
You should have said anything, god damn it.
Yao Ming.
All right, so what's the teams looking like?
So, first off, I got the best team. Chris Paul, Dwayne Wade, LeBron James, Andre Iguodala, Marc Gasol.
Nah.
Okay. I got
Fit is
Steph
perfect.
Curry, Drew Holiday, DeMar DeRozan, Chris Bosh, and Dwight Howard. My team is pretty nice. You're not
Your
walking
2
over
through
me like
4
you
is
think
so
you are.
mid.
2 through 4 is not mid. What do you mean?
You're Drew and DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, Drew got clamps, and DeMar, he's gonna obviously he's like fifth or fourth on the pecking order.
Fair. I have Dwayne Wade and LeBron. Donovan has James Harden and Kevin Durant.
And here's my team. I have Russell
let's hear it.
Westbrook. I have Russell Westbrook, James Harden, Kevin Durant, Carmelo Anthony, and Yao Ming.
Your team is
I'm dominating inside. We're straight bucket getters from 1 through 4, and then just Yao. Like,
and then there's Yao
18
just standing
feet,
there.
18 feet out, those jumpers are dead.
And then just Yao.
I'm killing y'all.
Yeah, Donovan's team has my knees trembling right now.
Whoa.
Okay. Let's relax.
So I don't have
And then
any
just
doing
Yao.
anything.
Okay.
Right, keep
Next thing we're
them
going to
stiff.
do. Lock them. Next thing we're going to do, as always, we're going to do a tier list after the draft. This time we're going to stick with the theme of the NBA Finals going on, and we're going to tier list NBA Finals MVPs.
Okay.
So this will be interesting because there's been some controversial ones over the last decade and a half.
Let's do it.
So let's put these NBA Finals MVPs into a tier list. First off, 2016 LeBron James.
S. What?
tier.
One of the greatest players of all time. You got to be kidding me, bro.
In his
One
greatest
of the
accomplishment,
greatest
too.
players. Yeah, exactly, bro.
He
I
got
just set
that.
the tone early. Next one, 2019 Kawhi Leonard.
A.
A.
Yeah, the narrative alone of like dragging his team to the championship in his first year there, just tooth and nail fighting through injuries, it's got to be A.
Yeah, I agree. First year doing that, and then on top of that, the iconic shot against the Philadelphia 76ers, bro.
that whole
me?
run was A. But in the finals, he was on straight cyborg mode. Like he was not losing.
That was a
Yeah,
legacy defining run.
Yeah, absolutely. Now I wish KD didn't get hurt, and also Clay. If he would have won that through those two, this had to be an S.
Oh, easy S.
But
tier. If
he
won,
did what he was
yeah.
supposed to do. A.
If he would have dethroned the best team ever, it would have been all time.
Oh, for sure.
All right, next one, 2014 Kawhi Leonard.
That's like a
C.
That's like a C. I feel like this one gets
Yeah.
overrated
Probably.
so much. Everybody on
Yeah.
that Spurs team was deadly. Kawhi, they gave, and listen, we might see this later, but they gave it to Kawhi for holding LeBron to only 33 points instead of 35 points. Like, come on now.
Yeah. People say 2-time Finals MVP when comparing to other people, as if all Finals MVPs are made equal. This one's not as impressive.
Exactly.
Yeah, that performance did not move me, bro. That could have gone so
It
many
was
different
good.
ways.
It was good, but it's not an all-time Finals MVP performance.
Yeah,
Didn't
he
Danny
deserves to
Green
be
almost
Finals
win-
MVP.
Didn't
No.
Danny Green almost win that Finals MVP? Or am I tripping?
I don't think so.
Nah, you're
Maybe
tripping.
wrong year.
No, but yeah, like Kawhi deserved to be Finals MVP. It's just not as impressive compared to every other one.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's very forgettable, but solid. C in my book.
2022 Steph Curry.
A. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's
The
finally
narrative,
shut up
the
all those
narrative
narratives.
is S tier, but the performance was A tier, right? It's not like it's just not on the level of LeBron in 2016 where he's leading everybody in every single category, but it's still
He carried
amazing.
that team, man.
But
Carried that team.
yeah,
Bro, towards the beginning of that series, we can't forget, though, they wanted to give this Finals MVP to Wiggins over him.
that was just nasty talking for clicks.
People want to give it to everybody but Curry every single time.
They were trying to give
He-
the conference finals MVP to Kevon Looney.
Oh, my God.
You know, that brings me to the last one, 2015 Andre Iguodala.
F. This was robbery. This was robbery. I hate this. This messed up Steph Curry's legacy for years because they gave it to Iggy.
This was so fucking stupid. It was stupid in the moment. It's even stupider looking back. LeBron averaged 30, and they gave it to Andre Iguodala for defense, who didn't even average 10. What are we talking
Those
about?
voters,
I'm disgusted.
those voters need to be banished from America, bro. They don't deserve to watch NBA basketball anymore. You should
Bill
watch
Simmons,
Dwight
you're
Howard in
cooked.
Taiwan. Yeah, you don't deserve that, bro.
Just hating on
Say
the
goodbye,
babyface
Jalen Rose.
assassin.
Yeah, that was so dumb, man.
Yeah, that was disgusting talk. Disgusting.
Ugh. Next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna bring back something we haven't done in a couple weeks, but at this point it's a staple in what we do now. We're gonna do an old versus new, and this time we're gonna do NBA jerseys again.
Ooh.
These go
Jerseys.
berserk every time we do these on Twitter. Not Twitter, on TikTok and Shorts, especially with the logos. People love it. So we're gonna do it again. I sent you guys. I think the order got messed up a little bit, but you see all the pictures.
All right, hold up.
So
Okay.
You know my Wi-Fi's cooked.
your Wi-Fi's terrible every time. Bro, this cough is fucking me up. 2 episodes in a row.
Wow. All right, I got it.
Which NBA jersey is better, old or new? First off, the Los Angeles Lakers. Got this white one versus the 2010s era black one.
They're both hard to me, but the black one is just different.
The black one is
Stealthy.
nice. The black one is nice.
Yeah, that was a good era with the yellow paneling. I usually don't like paneling, but it works on this one.
The white one. Listen, this white Lakers one, it looks too close to the blue one that they have. It's just it doesn't do much for me.
It
this
doesn't
white
move
one's boring
anyone.
as shit.
Or to
This
the,
white
the
one
light
is
blue one.
this white one is giving Saints Row the Third. This shit is boring. It looks like it would be like a Nerf jersey you get. It's like no team branding. It just says basketball. Not a fan.
Yeah.
It looks like
I
the
agree.
Clippers made it.
Facts. It's soulless.
Oh my god, bro.
Like the
Speaking
entire
of
Clippers
Saints Row,
organization.
with this black one, I feel like I'm in a stealth mission on Modern Warfare, bro. Like someone's getting murked.
You got a ghillie suit on?
Yeah, exactly, bro. It's just that hard.
Okay. Next up, the Atlanta Hawks. Which black jersey?
I'm actually
I like
gonna go
them
with
both.
the new one. I'm actually gonna go with the new
Ooh.
one. The old one is fire. Like if you're at like a throwback party, but if you're
Yeah.
actually trying to like wear it out in public, this new one is actually good.
All right, first
Yeah.
off, if you're wearing these types of jerseys out on public on a consistent basis, seek help. But the old one definitely hits more because it's not boring whatsoever and it's not basic. And that hawk in the middle with the fading red on the towards the bottom, it's hard. It's one of the hardest creations God ever made.
If this had a straight black jersey without the gradient, I'd pick the old one. But I really fucking hate the red gradient. And like the reason we like the Hawks one is for throwback vibes, but objectively, the new one's probably cleaner.
Y'all are tripping. Don't ever step in my city a day in your life.
We gotta check in with Mo.
Yeah, check in with me.
Next up, we got the Dallas Mavericks. The Nerf jerseys versus the trash bag jerseys.
Neither of them. They both suck. These are both jerseys that need to be burned. I don't like them.
Arguably the two worst jerseys in NBA history.
But if I have to pick one that is worse, the old one is worse. Or the new one is worse. This little stupid graffiti gradient, whatever they had, nah, this is dumb. Luka should have requested a trade just because they had to wear this. This is awful.
Yeah, this jersey's giving Paw Patrol, giving Disney, giving Disney Junior.
Yeah, whoever came up with these jerseys, you definitely need to be in a mental health asylum for thinking that people will rock with this. We do not rock with this.
Put you in Arkham.
Yeah, exactly.
Hilarious.
Nah, bro.
Yeah, this jersey's horrible, man. But the trash can jerseys are terrible too. Like copper, metallic. Ugh.
It's bad, but you can
Actually,
envision
now that
a
I'm
world
looking
where
at it,
this
it's low-key
works.
kind of cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like this could work.
My bad.
This could work.
My bad. We could do something with this.
We
Yeah,
can do
exactly.
absolutely
I could
nothing
cook with this one right here.
We can do.
I'm wearing this
Ugh.
to the next function.
Yeah, but with this one, with Luka's jersey, I'd wear something like this if I'm going paintballing or something. I'm wearing something that I don't care about.
Yeah, this looks like a jersey you get in the game Splatoon. You ever played that?
That's a deep cut.
All right, next one, the Chicago Bulls. Blue versus green.
The green one. The green one is nice. I like the colors on the blue one, but having that big old bull, that looks like a
Childish.
Six Flags jersey if I've ever seen one. I can't get behind that.
Facts. It's so fucking childish.
No.
Bro, they both bad, but I'm sorry. Dude, that green jersey, you have to be off of a perk to think that was hard. What were you thinking? What were you doing with
It's
this?
St. Patrick's
This makes
Day.
no sense.
It's St. Patrick's
It's
Day.
St. Patrick's Day, bro. You're disrespecting St. Patrick with this right here. Are you kidding me? You think he would approve of this? This is a disaster.
The worst part of this blue one is they've had other good Windy City jerseys with like the stars on it and stuff, but then they just got lazy and said, "Fuck it, throw the logo in the middle," and it's horrible.
Yeah, that's not great either. But I definitely have to say the old one is so much worse.
I don't mind green and red that much. All right, next up, we got the San Antonio Spurs. Fiesta versus Camouflage.
Fiesta wins. The Fiesta wins easily.
Yeah, Fiesta's hard.
The NBA really listen. Shout out to the troops or whatever. Right? They try to throw in all these like camouflage jerseys. 99% of them suck. I don't know if they've gone away from it. I hope they have because I'm tired of seeing this. The Fiesta ones are nice, and we'll rock with
the
that.
font on the Fiesta jersey is so clean with that cursive. It's Fiesta, but with a modern flair, and it's good minimalism.
Yeah, these pictures, I ain't gonna lie, are hard as hell too. Derek White, this is one of the greatest photos I've seen of him in my life. This easily upgrades your swag plus 10. But for those military type jerseys, they're cool, but they don't stand out whatsoever. They just look so basic. Should have done better.
We could put Drewski in this black jersey, and he'd look like the best athlete in the world.
Yeah, exactly, bro. You make that man look like Michael B. Jordan with that on. Easily.
All right, last up, we got the Portland Trailblazers. Sleeves versus PDX.
Listen, I don't like the PDX one, but I cannot support sleeves in good conscience. So the PDX one wins.
The PDX one's growing on me. I like the colors.
See, the sleeve era was when Dame Miller was rocking his mohawk, and he was on one back then. But I still can't get behind that. That is trash.
It's terrible. It's a soccer jersey, man.
Yeah, exactly.
This might be one of the worst sleeve jerseys of the era, too. I really don't fucking like this jersey.
Definitely not the worst. Trust me, there is worse.
You're right. Okay, that's a good TikTok. Everybody loves these so much. The whole old versus new concept, people fuck with it heavy.
Well, I do know why. They're super.
It's a good idea.
Yeah, because we're fucking geniuses. What do you mean? Stop hating. All right, next up, Donovan. I think you have one for us where we're gonna rank finals teams without knowing who's next.
Yeah. All right, we good?
Yeah, go ahead and say that hook for us.
All right, cool. All right, rank these NBA finals teams. Dang it. Rank these NBA finals teams without knowing who's next.
Okay. You got 5 of them?
Yep.
Let's get it.
All right. We got the 2012 Miami Heat.
Ooh. Listen, there's not many teams better than them.
I want to say one or two.
Yeah, do we want to save the one spot just in case? Let's go 2.
I think 1 is fair. 1 is super solid. Like that, you
can't
go wrong.
What if the Warriors are there, though? What if the Warriors are there?
I mean, if the Warriors are there, then they're there. We just know that Donovan's a douche.
Let's go 2. Let's go 2.
Okay, 2.
Okay. The 2020 Lakers.
Ooh, that's a good team.
I want to say 3 or 2 or.
It's not 5 for sure. Not 5. 3 or 4. I think. 4. Do we want to go 4 just in case there's like a Spurs team in there or something?
I feel comfortable with 3 personally. But there's I like 3.
You could argue basically every team in the last 5 years is just as good, if not better. So I feel like 4 is safe.
Okay, let's do 4.
Cool.
I ain't gonna die over that hill. Let's do 4.
The 2008 Boston Celtics.
This is 5. This is terrible.
What?
Dead last. What?
You're putting the Celtics below the Lakers?
Yeah. They were good. I mean, shout out to them, but this is 5.
This is probably 3. I'll let you have 5 because I had the last tiebreaker, so we can go 5. But I would have put it 3.
KG was like that. Love that man. And also Paul Pierce. Shout out to him, but I think this was 5.
Okay.
All right, we have the 2014 beautiful game San Antonio Spurs.
It's got to be 1.
Yeah, 1. This is easy.
Yeah, if the Warriors are there, I hate you, but Spurs got to be 1.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That was an easy choice.
The next one is the 2015 Warriors.
Okay, I'm very happy that's being number 3.
Yeah, this was not bad at all.
Look at us. Duh, we killed this list.
Yeah, exactly. And you were down me for a second when it comes to the Celtics. I know my basketball.
No, you're bugging about that, but I'll live. Dope.
That was nice.
Fix that cough.
I can't. I'm just fucking dying over here. The fans are going to hate me this week. I'm
Get
sorry.
a Vicks or something. A cough drop.
A Vicks.
All All right.
So next up, we got another finals video. Well, we're hammering in the finals this week since it's topical. See how the algorithm treats that. Next one's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to name 2 finals teams. You tell me which one's better. So straight up, which team would win?
Simple enough.
Yep. Which NBA finals team was better? I said it all weird. Which NBA finals team was better? The 2016 Cavs or the 2008 Celtics?
Give me the 2008 Celtics.
Oh my God.
That's a tough one.
I think that they had more talent all around, right? Obviously 16 Celtics have LeBron, but if you still have KG like at the tail end of his prime, Paul Pierce, Ray Allen for shooting, baby Rondo,
they were stacked.
Their defense was elite. So I think I'm gonna ride with them.
No, I gotta go Cavs just because LeBron was giving the Celtics hell back then with no help around him, so he could never win. Now he has Kyrie. Now he has Kevin Love. Now he has his full team, Tyronn Lue. I'm going Cavs.
Cavs easy. What are they gonna do with Kyrie Irving? They're not gonna do a damn thing, bro.
They're gonna throw Tony Allen at him, and he's gonna be in Alcatraz. That's what they're gonna do.
Tony Allen
it's definitely close. I'm not
Tony Allen will lock Kyrie Irving. What are we talking about?
Oh my goodness! Are you want to have this conversation right now? Most unclappable player in the league. Get out of here.
Unclappable. Nice. 2019 Raptors versus 2014 Spurs.
2014 Spurs in 5.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. That 2014 Spurs is easily one of the greatest teams of all time. In 5 is solid.
Kawhi
that
versus
Raptors
Kawhi
was really nice.
Yeah, you're not swayed by prime Kawhi?
No, not at all.
Yeah,
Pascal Siakam is a strike fear in your heart.
Yeah,
Who?
no.
Kyle Lowry?
OG
I'm definitely
Anunoby?
not scared by big booty Lowry.
20-year-old OG Anunoby?
No.
Yeah, no. That
Six-man Fred VanVleet?
Have you never seen Boris Diaw? Tiago Splitter? Come on now. Come on now.
Cash Money.
DeLon Wright?
Come on now.
DeLon Wright is nasty.
You know ball better than that. Come on now.
As the Spurs, obviously.
Yeah.
2010 Lakers versus 2022 Warriors.
Ooh.
Oh, this is tough. This is really close.
This is a good matchup. This is a good matchup.
Yeah, it's the worst Kobe championship team versus the worst Steph championship team.
Yeah. I think I might have to go with... do I want to say the Lakers? This is going to 7.
This is a
going
close
to
one.
7.
I think I'm going to go with the Lakers. Only because I think Powell would be able to eat a little bit on the inside, and he would be able to be the difference in the series. I think Kobe and Steph end up washing each other, and the same way that the Warriors can throw Wiggins at Kobe, the Lakers can throw Ron Artest at Steph Curry, and he would bully him all day.
But is Ron Artest and Draymond Green surviving a full fourth quarter or full quarter game?
They might not be allowed to play after game 3, but
yeah,
they're in jail.
I don't know. That's tough.
I think I'll go Warriors just because matchup wise, I don't think the Lakers with their too big front court are really equipped to defend the Warriors' offensive system in space. They might.
Yeah, but Clay was cheeks though.
Be tough.
It's a different type of Clay.
Jordan Poole was God for 12 games that year, so keep that in mind.
But not in the finals though.
True.
Yeah.
True. Yeah, I don't hate the Lakers pick. I'm fine with that.
Yeah, let's roll with the Lakers.
2018 Cavs versus 2020 Heat, the team LeBron played in the bubble.
Oh, I'll take the Heat. I'm gonna take the Heat.
Yeah, the Heat. Yeah.
You don't think the force of nature, LeBron could beat that Heat team alone?
That LeBron Cavs team had to go to a game 7 against the Indiana Pacers. No, Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo would beat them.
I almost forgot about that, man. Yeah, 2018 LeBron. I felt so sorry for that man.
Bro, they had 2 game 7s that year against the
Pacers. Both.
And the Celtics.
Yeah. Against the baby Celtics and then against the Pacers. And then if the Raptors just, weren't soft, then they probably could have pushed them, but I'm taking the Heat.
Yeah, easily one of the best offensive versions of LeBron James, but he can't overcome everything.
He can overcome a lot. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay. The 2011 Mavericks versus the 2021 Bucks. This is a hard one.
I think I might roll the Bucks.
I think I might lean Bucks too, but it's tough.
I think I'm gonna take the Bucks only because they allow a lot of threes, and even though that the 2011 Mavs had shooters, they're still getting their buckets inside the paint, and I think that Giannis can defend Dirk pretty well. So I'll take the Bucks.
Yeah, that's a deciding factor. I feel like Giannis is like the perfect Dirk defender.
Yeah, and
that's a tough.
You also.
Though.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
And you also minimize how useful Tyson Chandler is in the paint. So with Brook Lopez's stretch shooting, I'm definitely taking the Bucks.
Listen, JJ Barea is not going to mentally break Giannis like he did LeBron. I'm taking the Bucks.
Yeah, no, get out of here. Giannis will
Deshaun
run through
Stevenson,
that man.
Though. Oh fuck.
He might. Jason Terry. I don't know.
Oof.
Jason Terry.
I still hate Jason Terry to this day.
Last one. 2020 Lakers versus 2007 Spurs. Would LeBron get his revenge if he was older?
I think.
No.
Yeah.
That's still Tim Duncan on that side.
Damn near peak of his powers.
Yeah, but that's the weakest Spurs championship team, I think. If you had to pick one, like it's not obvious. It's a hard question.
No, I don't think it's obvious, but I would take the Spurs. Yeah, I would take the Spurs just because
I think Tony Parker's really the deciding factor of that.
Keep in mind, AD was a god amongst men that year and never missed a jump shot.
Again,
he was, but it's Tim Duncan.
He's playing Tim Duncan.
Yeah, it's Tim Duncan. You're right. It's better AD.
Yeah, I don't care about that. I think Tony Parker might be the deciding factor in that series. But then I don't know.
And then it's like, listen, and obviously LeBron's there. Who's the third best Laker on that team? KCP? Kuzma?
Kyle Kuzma?
Yeah. It was depth. It was depth that won, not a third star.
Okay. Manu Ginobili's giving depth buckets. Okay. So like, he's lighting them up.
Yeah.
He's lighting them up.
Giving depth buckets.
Oh my god.
He's like that. I'm taking the Spurs.
I'm dead.
He's
Oh my
depth buckets. That's fucking hilarious.
Oh my god.
That's it. That's it. All right, last thing we got, Mo. You have your collectible TikTok you want to get out there?
Yeah, let's go ahead and run this shit.
He been trying to get this off
All
for weeks.
I know.
2 weeks. Watch it bang too. All right. Hook's gonna be. Let's guess the price.
So Mo's gonna tell us some famous NBA collectibles, and we got to guess the prices.
Yeah, exactly. Real
It's
wacky
gonna be mad
stuff.
goofy. I love it. Yeah, wacky as hell.
Yeah. All right.
It's our specialty.
Let's guess the price. Let's get.
Can you guess the price?
Yeah. Can you guess the price is better?
Of these NBA.
Can you guess the price of these NBA? Can you guess the price of these NBA collectibles?
Say it again.
I'm gonna say it one more time. Yeah. Can you guess the price of these NBA collectibles?
Okay.
Perfect. All right. First up, Steph Curry's mouth guard in 2016. Mind you, it's the year 2016.
Just
What's
like
that mean?
just like
Inflation didn't
anyone.
hit yet?
Was it a finals mouthpiece? A regular season mouthpiece? I need details, Mo.
Ooh, you need details? I can get that for you real quick. So this was sold in an auction in the year 2016, and it was this doesn't actually give me anything. This doesn't give me much detail.
All right,
so let's just say it's the finals.
You lied.
Let's say it's the finals.
Okay.
For the sake of talk, yeah.
I'll go a nice $8,000.
Okay.
It's a finals mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Listen, Steph Curry's DNA is on that. Some weirdo's playing top dollar. $22,000.
Woo! Okay, $23,000 just for a mouthpiece is really steep, but Donovan, you are right. You're closer. It's $5,000. Someone paid 5 bands for some Steph saliva. I
thought there were some psychos out there that are willing to pay whatever the cost.
Yeah, that's absolutely gross. Absolutely gross. All right, something a bit more normal. Next up, we got Kobe's rookie year playoff game worn jersey.
Oh, that is
What year was this? Was this pre or post death?
Wait, what?
What year was it sold?
Oh, what year was it sold? This was, I believe,
you
this
thought
was.
They sold a jersey from heaven.
No. I was confused for that for a second. But this was post.
Okay, what year was it sold?
This is 2022, so post.
Oh, okay.
Okay. $50,000.
Bro, $250,000. A rookie game worn jersey post Kobe death? $250,000.
That's going. That's $2.73 million.
Oh, damn.
That's steep.
Listen, I get
love
it.
that man.
I
but
get
for
it.
2 M's.
There's no more of those out there. You can't find them. I get it.
Yeah, I know. That's crazy. That's crazy.
I
All
need
right.
money.
Was it autographed? Was it autographed?
I don't know. I don't think it was autographed.
It's crazy.
Wow. I need money like
Not
that.
autographed. Yeah, 2.73, man. Shh. Nobody's coming close to that jersey in my house. Are you kidding me? I got the red rope and all that around it.
Oh,
That
I'm paying
jersey
a
costs
security
more
team
than
for
the
it.
house.
Yeah, exactly.
That jersey costs more than my life.
All right. Michael Jordan's game worn underwear.
Okay.
I mean, after that,
Is it
Some
finals
context, his security guard took care of his laundry after every game. This was not finals worn, just game worn.
So this got MJ Musk on it.
This got MJ skid marks on it.
Ooh. The essence of MJ.
listen, there's some freaks out there. That's $1 million. That's $1.2 million.
What year was this? Was this at the height of MJ hysteria in like the 90s?
It doesn't matter. It's MJ.
Ooh, that's a good question. Well, this was sold. It's not 100% sure. We're not 100% sure when this was actually like game worn. It's freaky as hell. But this was sold in 2021.
Oh, so this is old man MJ. Nah, this is
No, this is not old man MJ. That's freakish.
$60,000.
You can tell, Donovan, you got to guess?
1.2 million.
You can tell that someone probably got hit with the lick. This was $500.
No, this is
you played
Scam.
$500 for some MJ's for
whoever
MJ
sold
cheek
him that was
sweat.
wearing black
Oh,
Air
man.
Forces. Scam the fuck out of him.
That's disgusting. All right, we got.
I had,
No,
way
that
too
was his
much
underwear.
faith. I had way too much faith in the freaks on that one.
All right.
That was somebody's
got-
grandma's underwear.
God, that's gross, bruh. Yeah, it was probably whitey tighties too. Them
Whitey
skid marks
tighties?
were
It's mad back.
tighty whiteys. Yeah. All right, we got 2 more. We got LeBron James Game 7 worn jersey in 2013.
Game 7 worn jersey in 2013. The finals?
$973,000.
That's so
Lock it in.
specific.
That's so
I
specific.
have no idea what this market is like. I'm throwing out numbers.
Me neither. $3 million.
$3 million. Damn, you hit it on the money. You were probably the buyer, huh, Isaac? That was you. We need to do a federal investigation over you, boy.
I operate in the shadows.
He got that on the dark web.
Now, whoever bought
All
this
right.
is for sure money laundering.
All right, last one. MJ's. So back in the day, MJ, just for context for the viewers or whatever, audio listeners, back in the day, MJ went ahead and did a McDonald's commercial with them back in, I don't know, in the 90s, obviously, or whatever. And in 2012, MJ sold MJ's barbecue. Hold on, I'm messing this up. MJ's barbecue sauce back in 2012. Or back in the 90s.
Barbecue sauce. What,
Yep.
that he ate with?
Yep.
How,
The Mick Jordans. No, it was a
Barbecue sauce
tub.
that
It was a tub
Michael-
sponsored by him.
Oh.
They made a whole tub for him.
I thought you
called
meant he
Mick
physically
Jordans.
ate it.
that's nasty.
It's a real thing.
A 25-year-old tub of barbecue sauce.
It sold in 2012.
A 15-year-old tub of barbecue sauce. Okay.
Mm,
Whew.
$23,000.
$8,000.
Isaac, you're right. You're close enough. 10K.
I know everything. No,
It's freakish, bro. Freakish.
that's crazy. A tub of barbecue sauce. These people are walking licks.
Yeah, I know. Back in 20, so again, context for audio listeners or whatever.
We got another
Back
one?
in 20, yeah, one more. Just in case one of them is not that great or whatever.
Yeah.
So back in 2019, the Golden State Warriors are playing in the finals against the Toronto Raptors, and Drake got a piece of lint and posted lint from Steph Curry's hair and posted it onto Instagram. Was like, yo, I'm finna sell this on eBay. So Steph Curry's hair lint back in 2019 NBA Finals.
This is sold by Drake.
Sold by Drake himself.
$27,000.
Ooh, this is Steph Curry, peak of his prime. Is 27 enough?
It's a
You're
piece
trying
of
to
lint.
fool us. This
No,
is
no.
But people want to smell
$206.
that Cantu
Nah,
product.
this is. It's gonna be something stupid because it's lint, but it's nothing crazy. I'm gonna go with $750.
It was listed on eBay for $86,000. It is not confirmed anyone bought it yet, though.
Hey, it's on the market. If you're listening, and you want this hair lint, go check it out. Check out ebay.com/OVO Poppy, and you'll find it.
Gross, bro. What freak weirdo would do that? Yeah,
That's great.
And that was a good talk.
Hey, you know what? I think that's the end of the episode.
I think so too.
About time. I gotta piss.
If you're listening still, comment, go take a shower. Good night.